cities around the world lesson. To start off today, we're just going to define a couple of key terms. And the first term that we're going to define is megacity, and then kind of going along with that is metacity. And so a megacity is a city with over 10 million people. And so the number of megacities worldwide has grown significantly in the past decades. There are now currently 34 different megacities around the world. So once again, 34 cities that have a population of 10 million people or more. And then going on top of that, a metacity is a city with over 20 million people. And Tokyo, which is currently the largest city in the world, is definitely a metacity. It has close to, in the 30s in terms of millions of people. I think 32 or 34 million people. If we take a look at a map of, we would skip that for now. If we take a look at a map of where where megacities are located, this is current and future megacities, and it is taking a look at where the current megacities and then kind of how are they expected to grow into the future. And so as you take a look at this map, think about some of these questions. What do you notice about some of these cities, where they're located? What do you find interesting, surprising? What patterns do you see? And I just mentioned Tokyo. I was a little bit off on my population. Tokyo is currently at about 38 million people. And by 2030, it is actually expected to shrink a little bit. And part of that is due to the fact that Japan is a stage 5 country. And so their birth rates are really, really low. But if we take a look at some of these other megacities, so in the United States, we have New York and Los Angeles are only 2 megacities. Chicago, which is our third largest city in the United States, is not yet a megacity, or may never become one. We have Latin American cities, and then the orange cities are future megacities. So right now they're not currently megacities. So Bogota in Colombia is not currently a megacity, but is expected to be one in the future. And so you can see some other examples there. But you'll also notice the size of these circles show how large those cities are compared to each other. So Tokyo, like I mentioned, was the largest city, but cities such as Delhi in India, Karachi in Pakistan, Shanghai are all also, Delhi is definitely a metacity. Shanghai is a metacity. Beijing is just over a metacity. But a lot of these really large cities and ones that are growing are going to be are located in Asia, in Southeast Asia. But some of the fastest growing cities are in Africa. So if you take a look at Lagos in Nigeria, currently a population of 13 million people, but in the future, definitely going to be a metacity. So it's currently a megacity, but it's going to be moving into that over 20 million people by 2030. So just taking a look at this, and you're going to be doing your first assignment, really be focusing on this. So why do we talk about megacities? Megacities are right, like I said, really, really large cities, and they face many challenges. They face housing challenges. They face how do we provide jobs for everyone? How do we feed everyone? They're just cities that have such a mass, that's so large that they're going to face unique challenges. And one of the videos that you're going to watch for this assignment will really get into some of those challenges that they face. So going to your assignments for this week, for this folder, there are 3 assignments. So this is kind of the bulk of your work for this week. And if we're in class, this would definitely take us about a week or a little bit over a week. And so the first assignment is going to be your world studies assignment. So your world studies assignment is kind of taking a look at a map of kind of like the one I just showed you. But you're going to open this up, and you're going to open up the website linked here. And it is going to bring you to a world city population map from 1950 to 2035. So from 1950, which was obviously a while ago, and into the future. So you can zoom in on this map, so you can get a lot closer. You can zoom in on particular cities, so it's definitely interactive. But one thing I want you to do before you start this assignment is I do need you to really pay attention very carefully to the instructions, because the map is a little bit tricky to understand, but that's because these circles that you're taking a look at that represent different cities have various colors within them. And the darker the color, the population expanded in that city earlier in time. So you want to pay attention to these colored circles. The lightest kind of greenish color means that that city is projected to be that large in the year 2035. So it's really important to understand, like, to look at these cities and to see the concentric circles and what colors are within those concentric circles. So I give some pretty clear instructions about, hopefully pretty clear instructions, comparing London, Tokyo, and Lagos. And so London, because it's such deep blue in the center here, that means that London was a fairly large city already in the year 1950. But since 1950, it hasn't grown a whole lot. Tokyo was a pretty big city in 1950, but a lot of the growing took place between 1950 and 1990. So within that 40-year period. Whereas Lagos was a really tiny city in maybe not super tiny, but it was a pretty small city in 1950, and all of its growth has really been more recently. So that is just a couple key things to keep in mind. So with that, your assignment is going to finally start right here. You're going to look at the entire map. You're going to answer the questions, so on and so forth. The second thing that you're going to do in our Cities Around the World folder is you're going to watch a video. It's about an hour long. So this is the video that will really explain kind of some of the key, the challenges, the strengths of megacities, the challenges that they face. And there is a video guide that goes along with that. So you take a look at that. And then you'll also see one last megacity story map assignment. So you're going to open up the assignment. You're going to also open up this story map linked here, and you are going to read through this. So it's kind of cool. It shows you the different cities. It shows you the way in which cities have grown since certain times. So you can kind of click on these and see how the growth of cities has taken place over time. So those are the 3 assignments. Once again, this is kind of the bulk of your lesson for this week. So Cities Around the World. Reach out to me if you have any questions.